Hello everyone and Happy New Year! Today I'll be talking about two approaches to setting goals for the year. One, pretty realistic, and another one is rather radical. If you want to know what they are and how they work and why I picked the radical one, please keep on watching. And before we dive into the two approaches, please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. This will help me enormously to grow this channel, and it will help people just like you to discover my videos. Thanks a bunch. Recently, I read an article in Russian about setting goals for the year, which I found very realistic and kind. I'll leave a link to this article in the description for this video. The idea is that most people fail their New Year's resolutions by mid-February, and here are 3 reasons why. Number 1, we set New Year's resolutions at the end of the year when we are tired, disappointed, and having read all these results of our friends who are just extremely successful people. Number 2, we count on big changes in the beginning of the year, while what we need in the beginning of the year is rest and relaxation. And number 3, when holidays are over, we go back to our normal, regular life, our here and now, and we have no time for our big plans. If all of that doesn't seem familiar to you, great, you're that awesome person who doesn't need that video, so you can skip to the part 2 when I talk about my radical approach to goal setting. Otherwise, here's how to set the goals and stick to them. There were 3 points that hit home. Number 1, set your goals in March, not in January. So, you have a couple of months to think about it, huh? Why so? In March, you have recovered from all the holiday madness and you're living your common, non-crazy pre-holiday life. Hence, March is a better, more adequate and realistic time to set proper goals, not all those read 100 books a year or go to the gym 6 times a week. Second point, do fill in the blank once a week. Don't set anything in stone, but instead try to fit it into your schedule for at least once a week. At least one lesson of that online course or one gym session. You don't have to do a monthly challenge or a marathon. Just once a week is enough. What I like about this approach is that you can make an experiment of it and figure out if something works or not. The sad truth is, if you don't do something once a week, you don't do it at all. And that brings us to the point number 3. Try again. If you couldn't fit an activity in March on a weekly basis, that probably means that's not an activity for you. Try again in April or try another activity. So that's basically the approach. You set your goals in March instead of January, try things once a week, small steps. Discover what works for you. And a couple of things to remember. Avoid the social media, because A, it shows you all your productive and successful friends. That will make you feel much worse about yourself. And B, all the online courses ads that will promise that you're gonna get fitter, smarter, and well, anything you want in a short period of time. Just ignore it, because all of that is a lie. Also, you're gonna have to shut your inner critic up. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. This is something I'm working on. Because your inner critic is gonna tell you that you're gonna have to be faster, better, smarter, and all of that by January the 10th. Well, the thing is, you can totally get there, just not by January the 10th. The thing is, you can totally get there, just not by the 2nd week of January. All right, that was my realistic approach, which I decided not to try this year, but instead, I wanted to do something more radical. Here is the approach number 2. Every year for the past 7 or so years, I write goals for the year at the end of December. It was going quite okay, but already in the beginning of last year, in 2021, I thought like, it's just really, I really don't feel like it. I don't know why. I still made the list, didn't accomplish much, and I'm like, okay, what you gonna do about that? For a couple of years, I'm following Gretchen Rubin's approach to goal setting for a year. That is something like 20 for 2020, 21 for 2021, and you guessed it, this year this is 22 for 2022. As you can imagine, setting 22 goals for a year is pretty radical. But that is not what I mean. The radical part is that none of the items of that list are goals per se. Yes, I decided to have a no goals year in my personal life. No goals was one of the approaches to goal setting that I discussed in one of my videos, which I will link somewhere on the screen. I found it a very appealing thing to try. So my 22 for 2022 list has the things that I genuinely want to do, try, or have. And if they don't work, I drop them with no regret. Treat them as a wish list if you want. On that list, I have things such as get another tattoo, get a new computer, ditch the book if I don't like it, go on a beach holiday, work 36 hours a week, become a movie person. These things and all the other ones certainly require some effort and planning, but if any of them wouldn't happen, I would totally be okay with that. It's not the end of the world, and I can always try it another time. Why I decided to do it like this? 1. Life happens and priorities shift. Last year I started this channel, and that's a lot of work. It takes quite a chunk of my time. That was never my goal. It was quite a sudden decision, and I decided to go with that. Number 2, I still have projects and activities from last year's that never went away. So I decided not to put any more goals on top of the things that I'm already doing. Number 3, one of the most important things is I wanted to focus on myself, what I want, and my own well-being. And at the moment, it feels right to make a list of fun things I want to try and shut my inner critic up. Another thing that I learned from Gretchen Rubin's approach to these things is a one-word theme. That's something that I find also quite cool to do. My word for 2022 is acceptance. Accept myself and others, our shortcomings, accept the situations, the failures and the victories. Accept the fact that if any of my 22 for 2022 items will not happen, it's also okay. That's my life, and I live it the way I want to, and I want it to be fun. And that was it for this video. Which approach would you like to take? A realistic to set the goals in March, or the radical and set no goals at all? Do you want to pick up perhaps a one-word theme for your year? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!